Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another day of Be Agile Scrum. We are transitioning gradually into day two now. And I believe all of you are here who is connected from the day one. Anyone here for the first time joining in directly today? I believe none of you are there like that. Okay, so great. So having said so, let me quickly ask and check with you. Do you remember last time what were we discussing about? What do you remember from the last session? Who can tell me that? What did we go through? Any idea?
In the
First of
end, we were doing values of Scrum
all, yeah, that's
and
valid.
We started,
benefits of Agile.
Yeah.
yeah, we started with code of honor first,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then we uh, we discuss about other points.
True. So we were
Benefits of agile.
benefits of
Benefits
agile.
of agile.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Okay,
great. Good. I was just checking whether we
the
remember
difference
from where we
between
need to.
Agile and Scrum.
The difference between agile
Between
and
Agile and Scrum.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing these all. So yeah, definitely you all remember that what we were discussing last time. So before we get started, one quick reminder to all of us, we are here not for the training, we are here for the placement. And for the placement in this 8 weeks long journey, we need to remember the guidelines, and those guidelines I'm going to reshare with all of us as a part of reminder. That is code of honor, our core values, the very first one. And I'm not going more in detail of it as I had been here in detail. So I'll just let run you through over it. So the very first one says that showing up live. It means that you be on time, remain punctual, remain highly committed, because that you need to showcase once you get placed. So in this training itself, when you consider it as a project, you will start practicing it here. You will be practicing it once you get placed. Another universal law associated with this says that how you do anything is how you do everything. That's the reason you are encouraged to practice it here itself. The second one, because you are in this journey, you eventually become student. Don't be the student, be the full stack student who does all the assignments given, who does all self-research by themselves and repeat what you learn. The third one is in this journey, you eventually following this will continue to hit the success, and if you don't, you will hit failure. So kindly take the full responsibility of both. Success is quite easy for taking the responsibility of, but when it comes to failure, people hesitate, get hesitant enough, and there we generally remind that failure, when you take the full responsibility of it, eventually there are chances you may correct it, and that failure does not remain the failure but becomes the success. And third one is very important: finish what you start. Any project in life, just finish what you start. That gives a boost of confidence to you only. The fourth one, to do so, it really requires, especially in the world of agility, require the concrete mindset that consists of continuous learning mindset. More a lifelong learner you become, you will grow positive minded. More positive minded you become, you find yourself going more complaint free. More complaint free you will become, you will find yourself loaded in gratitude, and gratitude leads to happiness. Happiness is today's new productivity in corporate that is demanded. In corporate it is demanded. And the fifth one, in this journey, you are requested to be a giver. Keeping ego away on the path of learning will make you more spiritually grounded on the path of growth. Spiritually grounded means, again, the happiness level increases, and that is the demand, that is today's new productivity and demand of corporate. And while you are in this game of learning and then going into earning, I'm sure you want to earn more out of it. So what you get more out of, you are requested to start giving away the portion of. And that's the very reason you all are requested, once you, if you are already doing this, then follow this, what I'm going to talk about. And if you are not right now earning already and thinking of earning, then once you get placed, start doing this once you get placed. What is that? This is having an intention of charity in case you are still thinking to get placed. And in case you are already earning, then start giving away right away the small portion of the earning, that is 5% or 10% of your earning, to the causes where you believe in. Why? Because when you give, you grow. When you receive, you may survive. And I'm sure you are not here for survival, but for the growth. And while you do so, continue to appreciate what you do, what others do for you, and what does not happen to you. Remember, that is preparing for you for better tomorrow. And another universal law associated with this is, what you appreciate appreciates you back. Last but not the least, the sixth one is increase the receptivity. Start your day with increased receptivity. And for that, I request all of you to participate in 30 days audio program. This is a 30 days challenge that you take, and you see, by just embracing this 30 days challenge, you see the every area of your life continue to get become positive. And this link you can get from me after the session. Just request for 30 days challenge, and I'll give it to you, the link, after the session. Second, because we are getting taking a deep dive into learning, remember to follow the golden quadrant of learning for any kind of a new learning. That starts with declaration with the anchor. You know why to declare and why the anchor, and then take a deep dive into learning, the recent learning, and then after 24 hours, try to draw using pen and paper. And whatever you have learned, just draw that, and then come back and summarize that in a way that even 5 years old can understand. What kind of summary I want? Recently, you may see that one video from Sangeeta was there, where she was just showcasing what she has learned, and she has utilized the notes she had prepared, and she was telling that what she is going to explain, and then she explained. That kind of summary make you more confident into those subjects. So come with that. And why you need to do that? As another science behind is that it gives you power to hold what you learn for a longer period. It means it's core objective is towards longer memory retention. And that's the reason this golden quadrant of learning comes with the complete package to let you know, remember the topic what you are going to talk about, and eventually you will find your own self that you are going more confident. That's the very reason. So because we are going to take a deep dive into deep learning, let's get started with the declaration. Can you all see the statement on the screen that is selected right now? Can you all see that? You can unmute and you can say yes. So how we are going to do that? At the count of 3, we are going to give an anchor. Anchor is the self high-five or the clap, and then repeat after me what I am going to speak that is selected. So get ready. 1, 2, 3, and clap and repeat. I am a quick learner.
I'm a quick learner.
What others can learn and master,
What others can learn and master,
I too can do that.
I too can do that.
One more time with the anchor. 1, 2, 3, and clap and repeat. Because I'm an awesome learner.
Because I'm an awesome learner.
Today's learning is going to be
Today's learning is going to be
super duper easy to me.
super easy to me.
Exactly, it is going to be, because you said so with the anchor. Why anchor is very important? Because you have experienced it. Whenever you have put the anchor, the reason behind it, in the ocean of thought, focus is that ship that need the anchor, else it gets drift away. The days when we are going to get connected: Sunday for the technical session, Monday for the technical session, Tuesday you need to do RRP session, and RRP sessions are never recorded. RRP session where you need to approach for 2 reasons. that is anything related to it's a reference ready resume preparation that is related to profile and CV optimization, and anything other than training RRP session is there where you can get the answer. The third one is Wednesday, that you are going to do the assignment of Sunday, and Thursday is going to be the another day where you are going to do the assignment from the Monday, and also you attend the repeated RRP session. Yes, every time it gets, do repeat it, because it increases your visibility, credibility, and marketability. Why marketability? Because you need to get placed eventually, and your presence makes sense to HRs to start doing some extra work so that you get placed. And Friday, utilize this day for the terms you have learned. You are going to repeat that, you are going to research that, you're going to also complete the assignment if at all remaining, and come prepared with question if you have at all, to get the answer on Sunday. Saturday you can choose to have it as relaxing day or breather day. So is it clear to all of us? So we are going to follow the days and the code of honor, please. Yes.
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 Yeah, thank you so much. So let's get started from where we left. Okay, so let me quickly bring, okay, just a second. Let me quickly bring the slide in front of you so that we can. Let me know if you all can see the slide.
Yes.
So do you
Yes.
remember we were talking about benefits of Agile? We were done with this slide. And let's move, because we were talking about values, core values. Let's read it out about it. So Agile Manifesto, when you will go to scrum.org, you will find Agile Manifesto with 4 values and 12 principles. Even though we have seen 12 principles, we will be having a glance one more time that in a summarized manner that what it says. But let's talk about 4 different values that Agile Manifesto says, and you need to remember this. Okay, so by any chance, have we covered this 4 values? You can say yes or no if you remember. I believe no.
Yes, sir.
No.
We already covered this.
Yes, I think.
We covered it, but it was
In
done
the
in a hurry.
second session, I guess.
Okay, so
I was not there.
that 5 values were there. That is focus and respect. Those things were there, if you
Yeah,
remember.
those
Yes,
were,
yes.
these were in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
The slide
So
wasn't there.
those were Scrum values. Okay. So this is what we are going to talk about: Agile Manifesto, Agile 4 values. Okay. So that we are going to talk about. Okay. So let me quickly check what you are talking about, and that will be quite easy for me to. Okay. So if you remember, we have done this. Okay. Value of Scrum, right? Courage, focus, commitment. This
Yes.
one.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
So
yes,
we have
yes.
done this.
Agile Manifesto we didn't do.
Yeah, so in Agile Manifesto, it is quite very important to know about it. So let's get started. I would like to invite someone who can read this for me, please. Anyone. The first bullet will explain one by one.
Individuals and interactions over processes and tools.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. Understand over here one very important thing. The moment you start working for any project, at the end, you have to apply a tool. Okay, so when you apply a tool, there are chances that tools will give you certain limitation or certain steps to follow mandatorily. But if processes says that you need to consider something well in advance, then you will give priority to processes over the tools. Okay, but remember again, because you are trying to deliver the values, and that's the reason we are looking for the 4 values of the Agile. It's not always about the product or service or selling a product. It's also about over the processes. You need to remember that interaction, the communication is very important. Okay, you need to understand the needs, you need to understand the problem so that you can bring the right solution on the table, and that can happen only through the conversation, through the communication. And over the communication, you are going to give importance to individuals. That's the reason the very first value is individuals and interactions are given priority over processes and tools. Are you clear with the very first bullet point? As quite very much easy to understand and clear. So any question around
Yes.
first bullet point? Okay.
No.
I'll take it as no. Thank you so much for confirming. Let's move to the second one. Who can read the second one?
Working software over comprehensive documentation.
Absolutely right. So it's not that you are when building the document or building the software, you are referring to the documentation, how things will get prepared. You're just following the blueprint and then you are delivering the software. It's not just a software that you are going to prepare. What else you are going to prepare? You are going to prepare a software that works, that makes the purpose solved, right? Imagine if you are downloading any software, any application in your mobile, and I'm not sure whether you have installed such applications or not. When you start using it, you are not able to using it. You are not able to use that. Or sometime it happens that software itself is not working. Do you think that is going to make any sense in case you are not able to utilize that software? Not at all, right? You agree with me?
No.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
sometime what exactly happens, you are referring to a document which has come from signed off from customer, and some terminology you see that may not make sense in the software, and that piece of say for example one button you have placed and there is no mention in the document. Okay, just you're placing there because it says in the document, that's all right, but again there is no use of it. The common sense says that remove it. Why to unnecessarily create place for it where it can create a space there over there for that. Okay, so software can be more clean, more workable. It should not the UI should be more appealing and more interesting and more user friendly, right? And that's the reason to such software you will also give importance to. Okay, the software which is unreadable and yet its UI is more means not so user friendly, and when you look at the UI, it has more chaos, so you are not ultimately going to use that. In the market you might see there are tons of apps, mobile apps. Do you use all of them?
No.
No.
No, not at all, because
no.
only few of them appears appealing. Okay, and those are working software. Okay, so remember, it's not about always documentation because documents say so. That's the reason you want to develop the software. No, ultimately at the end, what you're delivering, that matters and that should work. Okay, and this we all can relate with. Okay, so the third one is again important because you get into contract sometime. So I want someone to read first and then I'll explain it. Who can read it?
Customer collaboration over contract negotiation.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much for reading this out. So what exactly happens when you are working with customers? Sometimes you get to sign the contracts or sign the agreement between you and customer. But when you just adhere by the contract or, agreements, then the value may get missed, the relation may get missed, and, because of it, there are chances the repetitive business can get missed because you are valuing only the agreement. Because agreement says so, I'm going to do that. Can you come out of it and work over it and start thinking of the collaboration, because today's project management itself talk about collaboration. Okay, come ahead, come forward and talk to your customer in a way that you are ready to collaborate with it. Customer himself may do a lot of your work that you will be amazed someday that this was your responsibility, but are done by customer itself, because you gave importance to collaboration over the agreement. Make sense? Yeah. Let's
Yes.
move to the fourth one. The fourth one, can someone read this for me, please?
Responding to change over following a plan.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. So plan is one thing. Okay, plan is one thing. Customer comes and say, I want a slot to be completed in a way that I need something which is called as A to X. I want you to bring on table A to X everything in a sequence. You do that, but sometime you see that industry is changing very super duper fast just in a month. How many of you know that means Facebook, when it came, gradually it grew. Okay, when you came into when you saw in the market, Twitter came. Twitter also grew slowly. Then other social medias, they continue to grow. But the moment Chat GPT came, how many of you don't know what Chat GPT is?
No, we
Anyone?
know.
You don't know. Okay, so Chat GPT is
No,
one
we
of the.
know.
Okay, you know. Many of you know.
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah, thank you. So Chat GPT is, for a few of you who don't know, Chat GPT is one of the AI tool. So it just took a few days, almost 5 days, where it has bursted the market and it has been known into the entire globe what Chat GPT is. Okay, so that remember. And Devi Mukherjee, if you are feeling sleepy, you can definitely choose other, because you were yawning, so that's the reason I told you. Okay, no problem. Thank you. So yeah, that's fine. So ChatGPT is one of the tools that took around 5 days to go global, and those changes were adopted in many of the software that becomes more AI enabled. Then other software came into the market recently, and just within few hours it reached to the millions of users. Who knows about that software? Who knows that interactive software that is part of social media? Who can tell me that? Anyone?
No, I don't know. I just know
Insta?
ChatGPT.
Okay, Insta did not come recently. Insta was one of the social media tool,
Okay.
but yeah, that is related to Insta, I would say.
Threads.
Threads. That's absolutely right.
Oh, yes,
So
thread.
yeah, Thread came into the market, just took over the entire globe just within 5 hours. Okay, and it had more than 5 million users just in 5 hours. So imagine how things are coming super duper fast, changing and disrupting the market. Likewise, is your software is ready to respond to those changes and embrace those changes? The moment people see that new technology is entering into the market and your customer may ask for that, how you are responding to those change and ready to integrate and embrace those change. So just not because you need to follow certain plan. If customer comes with you for negotiation, are you able to interact and convince your client that they are also going to get the advancement? And when you talk about the advancement, how becomes the later stage? But just allowing it between you as a vendor and other party as a customer, it gives and boosts the confidence for not only the customer but also for you, because remember, the future is the repeated business. And that's the reason you need to just take care that you are quickly responding to change over the plan. Plan will be just to follow the guideline, but responding to change for the more business. Is it clear to everyone? Yeah.
Yes.
So let's move
Yes.
further. And 12 principle we have seen. I'm just quickly going to read through the first bullet point that will be easy for all of us. Customer satisfaction through early and continuous software delivery. We have been talking about continuous software delivery. Why? And one thing I am willing to reiterate. I love to talk this line all the time in each one of my tracks and session, and that is whenever you feel like becoming a business analyst or agilist or scrum master, you also think of continue to grow in the market. So when you continue to grow in the market in your profession, till what extent you can grow? At least you can become the CEO of a company. Yes or yes? That can be the extent, right? But I generally say, if you want to become anything, be anything, be CEO, but remember to be this as well. And that we call it as a CDO.
Oh.
Yeah. So what is CDO?
Customer delight officer.
Exactly. That's right, Amisol. So CDO is customer delight officer. And it completely changes your objective, the way you approach to the customer, and the way you get more business. So this term is not there. It might not exist in the Google. Whenever you will Google and all, you will not find it. But yeah, the objective is very much clear in this position. In whatever the position you are in, if you will get operated by this intention of being the customer delight officer, your work will be more productive, your performance will always be high, and the quality of work you will do, that will always be appreciated. And there you will see that you are meeting this customer satisfaction criteria as well. The second one says it says that accommodate changing requirements through the development process. We have talked about it with the fourth core value of agile. Okay, so ready to embrace the changes, even talk about that, and get your customer in confidence that you have the ability that you can embrace the change. And but definitely you can talk about the timeline that it takes. Frequent delivery of working software. Yeah, it's not that sometime in some businesses or in some model of agile, you will see not only people are delivering the software on weekly basis, sometimes they deliver the software in daily basis as well. So there is a term called daily build. We have seen about the deployment term. So there is a term also called daily build, where you get to see how daily deployment also gets to happen. So that is the third one. And the fourth one, collaboration between the business stakeholder and developers throughout the project. We had been talking about the collaboration over the contract negotiation, customer collaboration. We have seen as a part of agile values as well. So I'm not going to explain that. Quickly see the agile principle, the fifth one, that says that support, trust, and motivate the people involved. As a future scrum master, future product owner, you need to take care of this, that your team is highly motivated, they are ready to support each other, and they believe in you, they trust your approach. And the sixth one, enable face-to-face interaction. As we have been talking about a daily stand-up when we were explaining the Scrum framework, there it came the daily stand-up. When we talk about daily stand-up, it means that daily you meet with each other, literally you stand up for 10 minutes or 15 minutes and talk to your peers face to face. But when people are remotely and geographically distributed, that is the time, if you are doing the daily Scrum meeting or daily sync up meeting, that time you can switch on your camera, and your camera means your webcam, and then make sure that you are enabling the face-to-face interaction. This is again for all of you future Scrum Masters and product owner. Make sure that it happens. The seventh one, working software working software is the primary measure of progress. Remember, we were talking about that, delivering the working software over the tools and processes. No, so it was something else. What was that? Working software over comprehensive documentation. Yeah. So ultimately, what you are delivering should work. So that you need to remember. Agile processes to support a consistent development pace. Make sure that you are following certain process or not, that what will happen once you are defining your next step. So you must be knowing about that you can plan in the sprint planning meeting. Then comes to the ninth one, attention to technical detail and design enhances agility. So when we are talking about attention to the technical detail, it means that all those tools that you are going to use, people are able to use that. It is going more user friendly, and the more user friendly it become, the future business analyst, if you are ready to write the requirement well in understandable manner, and also you are going to draw those models that will define the flow of any software in easy manner. Are you able to understand whatever I'm speaking till now? Any question
Yes,
till
sir.
now? Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
understand
And
it.
this yes from everyone, I believe. Okay.
Yeah.
And this ninth one, no, not ninth one, 10th one is simplicity. Okay. So anything that you are developing, I have been talking about, user friendliness. Make sure your software is also user friendly. So whatever you are delivering to the customer, he is able to use that. Make sure that happens. 11th one, be the self-organizing team, encourage great architecture, requirement, and design. Self-organizing is here important. Self-organizing means you don't need any supervision. You yourself are capable enough to take the ownership and take the charge of some requirement, and can commit and say and declare that you are ready to do that. Develop such ability. Okay, in case you don't have, just try to declare. And even though initially it may sound fearful, and once you declare that, apply all the resources. You will find that the moment you declare something and you are not aware how to do, to just make it happen, you will become ready to apply all the sources and resources, and you will be amazed by your own self that how resourceful you are. Okay, so that's your ability
I
of
agree.
being
It's just like when we manifest something, it tends to happen the same way.
that you can say so. Yeah, but you are ready for that, and that comes to you. Yeah, you just make sure more acceptable for anything that is going to come. Yeah, anyone
Sir,
wants to
I have a
say?
question.
Yes, Sonali.
Sir, there are so many responsibilities. Like I was getting scared, like we will be performing so many responsibilities towards the organization. So will there be only one business analyst, or many of us will be tackling the thing?
Okay,
Like,
so
like how to understand like which architectures are good and all these things.
yeah, so when you will start in with a team, so generally you will find there are one or two business analysts will be there, because this will be the smaller team. So two generally you will find, one will be associate one who will be helping to the senior ones. So there will be minimum two, of course, will be there in a smaller team, because the the team size, agile team size itself for the small projects are 3 to 9, which has increased today from 5 to 11. Okay, so in the previous traditional world, I mean till 2011, it was till 2011 the count used to be 3 to 9. Then eventually it grown further from 3 to 9 to 5 to 11. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Did I answer your question, Sonali?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now I'm relaxed.
And remember, it may sound really very convincing to get scared, okay, because so much responsibility. How would you do that? But again, it really takes courage. You are knowing that you are afraid, and still you are declaring. Still, you are showcasing the courage and taking some activity in your hand. Now, despite this fear, When you take some activity in your hand, you
Mm.
go and see how, how convincingly you are applying all the resources from all around. You do anything to get things working for you. Okay, and that really open your own potential to know that how great resource fullness in you have. Okay, and this is something amazing. When you will take such challenges and you will conquer that, you will come and bounce back with a lot of confidence. Okay, and that's the reason I generally talk about. So what exactly happens, I want to say over here, and every one of you remember very carefully. I have never talked about this in middle of any sessions. When you go to the RRP session, in RRP session, Ms. Guru Schools give you some project that you can mention in your CV. Sometime you write some terminology and you are not even aware of. And say, for example, none of you, say, for example, have worked in insurance sector. Or even if you have worked in insurance sector, you have written claim and you don't have any idea about it. What you will do? Because you have prepared the CV, now you need to know that terminology. And just because you have written about that, there are chances, if you say that I get to know about it, you can become the master in it. Okay, so just you need to explore how to become market, how to become expert in it. The right question, the right answer will fall. Okay, so and for that, many of you have been told, means those who have been graduated in the earlier batches, that how you can master any skill just within 3 days. You can become the expert. And the one key point is the golden quadrant of learning. When you apply in all those terminologies, exploration and learning, you eventually become the master in it just within 3 days. Okay, so be ready for that, to embrace all the all the skill in you. If you are ready, you will be able to flourish. You will be able to showcase those skill eventually. Okay, so is it clear to everyone? Are we clear with the 4 values and 12 principle? You need to remember this. So this you need to know that the good part is that in case you are going ahead with the 4 years of experience and 3 years of experience, is okay. That time you need to give some answer when it is asked what are 4 values and 12 principles. That time you will be asked. But in case you are showcasing your experience more than 7 years or 5 years, even generally you are not asked the technical question. Okay, technical question goes very less. They ask your daily activities, how your common day looks like. Why I'm discussing with you? Because our focus is that more than learning, our focus is to get trained. And of course, once you get to know what all you need to do, then only you it will make sense after you get placed, when you start working. Yeah, with me so far, everyone? Yeah.
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
And thank you for
Yes,
asking this question. That brings what goes next. So let me quickly share.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. So let me quickly share what I'm bringing in front of you.
Sir, I just wanted to ask one question if I'm not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yesterday we discussed on the tools for
Mhm.
Agile. Do we need to excel on any of this software like Jira, Asana, or we should know it about?
Okay, if you can excel, it won't harm. Okay, because I'll say what kind of candidates I generally interact with. See, there are variety of candidates, right? I talk about one tool. Okay, and they go, they explore, they choose, they go and they explore. Okay, that is again, exploring is useful for them. That's
So
number
you
one.
need not to be excel on that. I mean, not supposed to do the complete one. Am I right?
No, I didn't say that yet. So let me complete that. So, and another candidate I have seen, they ask question, okay, which one is the emerging tool? Okay. The moment I say Jira is there, Azure DevOps is there, like someone asked me yesterday also, which tools are more recommended in the industry. What they do, they go ahead and they explore by themselves, and when they come back, they are super confident. So there are two types. One is just they go do the exercise, come back. Second one, they just learn the tool, and a few of them has taken certification into that as well. So it's all your choice. But yeah, when you become a pro in using any tool, that anyway is going to add value in your career.
Sure.
And second, in case you want to go with the flow, you will have some difficulty in figuring out what happens, when happens, and when you are actually placed in the right job. You will find a little bit of effort in exploring the activities. But if you already master it, it will become easy. So what you want to choose, it's all up to you. So
Yes.
I am not going to give the answer about it, whether you need to become the expert in that or not. But yeah, experts are always recommended, just to say that. Yeah, thank you. So let's get to see the Scrum roles. Okay, Madhvi has some question. Yes, Madhvi.
Yes, Gauravji, do you have any specific website where we can get it certified if we decide to go with Jira
Okay.
or anything? So do you
Not
suggest
about
any?
the tools, I would say. Not see Jira itself. When you are learning LinkedIn, so LinkedIn has tons of the courses, online courses. Okay, and the moment you continue to complete one course related to, say, for example, Jira or any other tool, it continues to give you some certification based on that you have the diploma certificate or completion certificate. They award you as well. Second, when it comes to skill, for skill, there are various certification. Recently, you saw someone posted their certification of SFC, Ruby, I guess. Yeah. So what she did, she went ahead and she decided, okay, at least I will clear the foundation level of the Scrum certification. And she did it. And she get to know there is one website, scrumstudy.org. From here, she did it. And why I recommend scrumstudy.org, because you don't have to spend anything. Okay, just your time and energy to learn the things, and it does not ask for the money. Scrumstudy.org, and you can leverage this to gain your foundational certification. From there, you gain the confidence. Okay, if I can do this, I can think of the next level, like a video game. With me so far? In video game, what exactly happens? You just cross one level, you can think of the next level then only, right? So
Gotcha.
likewise,
Yeah.
scrumstudy.org is one of the foundation. However, there are tons of other skill certification. For that, I have already spoken about in yesterday's session. Okay, in case, were you there, Madhvi, in yesterday's session?
Yes, I was there. Yes.
Okay, so try to, if you're thinking of those skill certification, start picking up one by one, but start with the, in case you are just fresh, you don't have any experience yet, start with scrumstudy.org, do the foundational course. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So now understand the Scrum rules when you are working in Agile and you are going to interact with multiple people. You need to know what all the team members are there. So first you need to understand the Scrum team. Scrum team consists of product owner, Scrum master, and development team. When we are talking about the development team, I want to answer you, what do you mean by development team? I want answer from you. What do you mean by the development team?
Sir,
Who
who
all?
develops the programs?
Who codes the program? Yeah.
Codes the program. Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like that.
Okay. Any other answer when we are talking about development team? Is the coder or anyone else?
Coder, tester.
Developer.
Coder, tester, business
Tester.
analyst also.
Yeah.
But tester
Scrum
does not
Master.
code it.
Coder and
No.
developer.
Okay, coder and developer can be the same one, but
Same, yeah.
they are the part of development team. But someone said tester. So are the tester also going to be the part of development team?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Cross-functional team with varied
Okay.
Everyone
knowledge.
involved in a project, like from PMO to BA, QA,
Okay.
everyone.
Okay. So thank you for your answer. First of all, you are right, except PMO and product owner and Scrum Master, everyone else will become the part of development team. Okay, so whether they are coder, whether they are tester, whether they are business analyst, whether they are solution architect, whether they are DevOps team, everyone become the part of development team. And along with development team, product owner and Scrum team together, they all are called as Scrum team. Clear? The
Yeah.
difference between development team.
Except who? PM.
Sir, except, can you please repeat?
Yes.
Product owner.
Except product owner, scrum master,
And Scrum
PMOs,
Master.
rest
Okay.
all who are working towards the development of product are part of development team. And that consists of business analysis, coders, testers, and solution architect or technical architect or DevOps team. Everyone will become the part of development team. Clear?
So the BAs and the product owner is the same, no? In most
No.
organizations.
Product
No.
owner is different role. Business analyst is the different role.
Different.
Yeah, BA is a different role.
Okay.
Yeah, clear? Any
Then
such
what would be the
question?
difference?
Yeah, what are the difference? Okay, so business analyst, we will talk about their roles and responsibility. Will that be useful for you then? When we will talk about, or you want to know just now?
No, it's okay.
We
It
can go
be
in
later.
detail of it.
And
But
okay. Sure.
great question to ask, that you need to ask such question in case you have even a smaller doubt, like whether BA and product owner are the same. So such question you can ask, because the foundations should be very much clear. So let's read it, what it says. Product owner, what he does. Okay, here itself it is written. Product owner manages the product backlog, optimize values of the product. So the high level of requirement comes to product owner, and he breaks down in the smaller goal, and he manages those goals, to which it is written the name as product backlog. Okay. Scrum master, he manages the Scrum process and remove impediment. He makes sure that all the Scrum process as per Scrum guideline is well applied into the project. And in case any hurdle comes in the application of it, he makes sure that he is able and capable of removing that. And development team manage itself, creates done increment. We have talked about in the Kanban mode, we have talked about how things move into done column. So make sure, or development team make sure that they create things which are ready to move in a done increment, and so that along with the shipment date, you are ready to deploy the project into the right environment where customer can use it. When we are talking about these roles, let's understand well in detail. Okay, so I want someone to read about Scrum Master on left hand side. Please read it for me. Anyone?
Removes all impediment and hindrance to achieve goals, enforce to organize Scrum ceremonies and processes, to commit to goals and deadlines on behalf of the team.
Okay, thank you so much for reading this out. And yeah, Scrum Master is also a kind of a leader. He's a situational leader. Not only just a situational leader, he emerges like that, but he is such a leader whose job is to bring the ease in everything. And that's the reason he is most followed. He is everything for you. When you will, what else one word you can give? He is the mother of a project. When mother of a project, he will take care of everything. Mother does everything, and yet every team member, every family member loves that person who is lifeline of a family. Likewise, Scrum Master is such a leader who is also known as servant leader, and whose job is that bringing the ease in the processes. Okay, make sure he removes or she removes all the impediments. Make sure he is ready to facilitate all the ceremonies and all the meetings. He will even make sure the chairs are in the place, web conferencing room is ready, web conferencing tool is ready, communication have gone in the place, every team member is knowing at what time what meeting is there, where, and at what place it is there. So every single communication and every single preparation has been taken care by the Scrum Master. Anything that does not make sense, anything that brings a block, how to unblock it, that is the responsibility of Scrum Master. Okay, so and on behalf of entire team, he commits the deadline, he reminds about the deadline, he reminds about the goal to the team member, because eventually in the process there are chances you tend to forget, you tend to miss certain backlog, you tend to not to complete something on time. He is always with the team talking about those deadlines which is upcoming, and because he is so much aware and vigilant of those deadline, he will be able to remind about it in the daily scrum as well, so that he knows what is your next activity and how much time it is going to take. Is it clear about the Scrum Master role?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
let's
sir.
Yes, sir.
move to product owner. Okay, so I want someone to read about the product owner for me, please.
Conveys the vision of the stakeholders to the team, can alter the scope, responsible for the return on investment ROI. That is why they occupy an authoritative position in the firm, not only with the team, but also communicates with the stakeholders about progress and problems.
Thank you so much for reading this out. Yeah, the product owner is a junction. When I talk about a junction, it means that he is a central point for all the stakeholders to to cross communicate for every single decision and every single requirement. So product owner is the place and is the rule to which even sponsor will or the customers will come and communicate about any changes and any new expectation. And the same thing, his responsibility is to pass to their team, so that everyone gets in sync, everyone understand what is customer expectation, and customer understand what he can expect as a part of delivery. Why? Because customer is directly talking to product owner, and product owner can talk about certain delay or risk or its mitigation plan. Remember, he has to make sure that things has to happen within the budget, within the given budget, so that he meets the return on the investment. And based on customer interaction, some new changes may come as a part of accommodation or advancement. So he is the responsible person who can work on the product backlog, and he can alter the scope. If he is removing something which is unnecessary in the upcoming sprint means the time duration in the next delivery plan, then he is the only person who can add something for next upcoming delivery plan, which will become the part of discussion when it will get commenced. Okay, any question around it for product owner's job, product owner's
No,
role? Okay,
No.
so if not, then
I find BA's role and product owner's role to be similar to some extent. Is that
so product owner is mostly responsible for timely delivery. He is always on top of everyone is doing what. Okay, business analyst does not need to really worried who is doing what. Okay, first he should be concerned about his own job. He should be focused towards analysis and design and about the requirement and requirement explanation, requirement briefing. He should not be worrying about the development team, whether they have developed the thing or not. He should not be worried about the testers, whether testers have developed things, testers have tested things or not. But yeah, this business analyst is more worried about whether people understand things well or not. Okay, understand things means that to business analyst, to business analyst, anyone can come asking that I want you to explain me this functionality. Say for example, you are developing a payment plan. Payment plan means for a banking software. Okay, you don't understand from where the amount will come out, or how it will get credited. You understand in the back end what happens. If business analyst is knowing that, he will come and he will explain that. Okay, what exactly customer bonds the customer comes with 5 types of card, and he wants that all the cards should work and should have some limitation. Okay, so product owner will be knowing that there are something which is about the card activation program for the bank he is doing. But if you want to go in the details about it, he has created one product backlog for the card activation. Now it's business analyst job to get into detail of it, whether it is credit card, debit card, prepaid card, forex card, or co-brand card, or whatever kind of a card is there. So he will be explaining all the details related to that. So the detailed requirement is always with the business analyst. High level requirement is known to product owner. Clear?
I see. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for asking this. Let's move towards the Scrum team. I want someone to read about the Scrum team, please.
Does all that lead them towards their sprint goal? Work with the Scrum Master to prioritize the items from the product backlog in the sprint planning. Not Scrum Master organizes them, it is self-organized. Need to attend every stand-up and their ceremonies. They have to participate in all the meetings despite their nature, and have to ensure that all the findings of the meetings are getting practically addressed in the project.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. So when we are talking about the Scrum team as a whole, so your responsibility becomes that you know that what you are doing, because Scrum team does not need any supervision, because Scrum team is a self-organizing team. Even this is the cross-functional team. You are working with different team member. Even though you don't need to know who is doing what, it is okay to be transparent and aware of what is going inside the project. Why? Because the moment business analyst will develop, business analyst will brief some, requirement or functionality, and after he creates the ticket more easy to understand, then you can pick it up if your job is done. Otherwise, you will keep on wondering and thinking that once any ticket or any requirement will come to me for development purpose, then only I will start working upon it. Okay. But if you know that business analyst is working on some activity, and when your module will come to you for the development or for the testing, it will only be understood when you are coming together, discussing together, and knowing who is doing what. Okay. And when it happens in every ceremonies, you talk it in one of the ceremony, that is the daily Scrum meeting or daily sync up meeting. You talk about that last date, next date, bottleneck. Okay. So the transparency comes over there, and this team has to attend all the ceremonies. Okay. All the ceremonies means all the meetings. Okay. So you participate in all those meetings. You need to know what are the sprint goals you have to achieve in every single sprint. Okay. So and you work in you work in rhythm. Cadence is the one thing. Rhythm means things are flowing step by step. One requirement you have taken, business analyst has work on it, and he passes it to the development team work on it, code it, they unit test it, they pass it to testing team test it. If it is passes, he just give it a go grade, and it moves to the customer team. Is it clear, the process, and how Scrum team contributes in the every single ceremony?
Yes.
Yeah.
Any question around it? I just summarize this as a part of summary, means as a part of, with the summary itself, I did not go into the detail. But all right, you understand now product owner, you understand Scrum Master, you understand Scrum team. Can someone tell me who is here standing alone in the gray? Who it could be?
Product owner.
Product owner.
Product owner is here.
Stakeholder.
That's
Okay, stakeholder.
That's absolutely right. So this is stakeholders. So stakeholders comes with all those people whose stake is there in the project. Okay. So those could be vendors, those could be, anyone who is involved anyhow. But here we will focus more towards customer. His highest stake is there. Sponsors, his highest stake is there. So because their highest stake is there into this project, they are referred in this slide as a stakeholder. Is it clear? Yeah, to whom
Yes.
we are referring to? Okay, so let's read about it. I want someone to read the first two checks for me.
The stakeholder has to keep a healthy relationship with the product owner in order to share every detail regarding his project. The stakeholder is responsible for conveying his wishes and concerns to the product owner, or else the product owner would not be responsible for his project quality and time duration.
Thank you so much for reading this out. So remember, this is very important. As a stakeholder, you will be communicating you will be communicating with product owner, and as a product owner, you will expect every single conversation, every single decision coming from the stakeholders are communicated to you. In case of any delay, in case of non-communication, you won't be responsible. Why you need to know as a product owner? Because things cannot be surprise for you. Okay, at the end, you cannot expect your scrum your not scrum master, your customer to appear and say that, hey, I wanted this to happen. Okay. Excuse me, you wanted this to happen, but you should also communicate that. Yes or no? When it will be communicated, then only it will be developed. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So great. So if you know this, so it should be also communicated with by the customer. But what your responsibility as a product owner is? Your responsibility is that you always keep on talking about the development plan, release plan, and keep asking question. Are you good with this? Like I do ask you, are you able to understand it? Are you so far with me or not? So it is always, feedback loop has to go with it. Okay. So that you are always connected with your customer, so that you are always connected with your product owner. If a customer is not talking, you have to allow him to talk. So this is the summary of these two checks. I want someone to read the third and fourth one for me, please. Anyone?
The stakeholder has to provide regular input to queries from the product owner. Prioritizing the work effectively with the product owner is another job that the stakeholder has to do to ensure his project development.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. So yeah, understand this thing that continuous query has to flow. Okay, and product owner will ask certain query, and those answer you can expect from stakeholder. Stakeholder has to respond well in time so that solution can arrive well in time. Okay, that's number one. Number two is that because you are always product owner or stakeholder are always working together, so that what needs to be developed first and what needs to be developed later and what needs to be developed after that. So when you know these all things, when okay, so I was talking, when you know these all things, what to develop first, what to develop later, you are able to set the priority of the release. So develop the priority of the shipment or the deployment. So it is always in agreement or in opinion with the customer, how and when to set the priority of this subject. And then only product owner is able to talk about those product backlog item in which meeting? In which meeting? First, product owner will talk about.
Meeting.
Stand-up meeting.
Stand-up meeting.
No. It's sprint planning meeting.
Sprint planning meeting.
Okay,
Yeah,
sprint
first time
planning.
product owner talk about the backlog items in the sprint backlog. in the sprint planning meeting. And from there, he refines the sprint backlog. Means he knows that on which backlog the entire team is going to work at first. Okay, so there the prioritization becomes more visible. Okay, I want someone to read the last check for me, please. Who can read it?
Keep taking updates or keep giving updates regarding any change in the plans.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for reading this out. So update has to flow between the team, amongst the team, but when it comes to stakeholder has to know all the updates, and stakeholder needs to update all the development to product owner as well. So it is always two-way conversation, two-way communication. Means you cannot expect something which is not told will be developed, and you cannot expect something which is told will not be included. So because things are flowing, are communicated, the output has to be always in the sync. Okay, so it's stakeholders' responsibility to continue to ask for the update in case delay happens because of the work pressure, but at the same time, product owner's responsibility of that, despite any delay and despite any pressure and time crunch, you are supposed to give the updates. Yeah, see, ultimately customer is paying you. Imagine a day where you have given your vehicle in the garage. A garage person will be working on your vehicle, okay, but it's your own duty to check with the garage person where the work has come. Do you agree with that? You need your vehicle back, yes or no? Yeah.
Yes.
So it's your responsibility to check with garage people that whether your work is done or not. However, you would appreciate that when garage person himself is calling you and say that, sir or ma'am, this work is in progress. We have done 10% of the work, and I'm sure you would be liking that. We have solved this issue. So far, we have found we will take another few hours to complete the job. And again, after 1 hour, you are giving the further update. Which one you would like? Customer asking you, or you yourself receiving the update from the vendor? The first one or second one?
Receiving updates.
Receiving update. But yeah, you know that stakeholders' responsibility, but don't just dependent upon it. Be the other example, part of the other example where you are on the sending front, where you are giving the updates to your customer. Everyone like it. In this example, how delighted you felt when I was just giving you the example. So imagine the same way your customer is waiting from you. So you be ready for such approach. So this is a nutshell. So let's come back here in the Scrum event. So for product backlog, when product owner prepares, he also declares the releases on what date, which first release will go, on what day second release will go. And from the product backlog item, when some, and when I'm talking about product backlog, what do I mean by that? What is product backlog?
Backlog of a task.
Okay, task. What
The
else?
requirement of the
Yeah.
Planning.
Yes, the product backlog, you need to remember the broken down pieces of requirement.
Yes,
Clear?
the broken down.
The broken down requirements. Okay. Yesterday I gave you the example of the loaf of the bread. Okay, so from there you can see that. Then you bring or pull some requirement into sprint planning ceremony. So, and you discuss about those high priority backlog items, and you align it with the goal, sprint goal, and you go for the daily Scrum event. You discuss daily about the development, and then the implementation will continue to happen from depending upon what is the sprint duration, from 1 day to 4 weeks. So anything, it used to vary from day 1 to 4 weeks, but 2 weeks are ideal. That's the sprint duration. Okay, so what is sprint duration? Minimum and maximum and moderate?
Maximum, it is like 2 weeks.
2 weeks is moderate, but when answering to the question, don't say 2 weeks. Just say it can vary from as as minimum as day 1 to as maximum as 4 weeks maximum. Yeah. So 4 weeks is the maximum time. Okay. So, and then another, when you continue to implement, one fine day you are ready with all the implementation, though you need to demonstrate that, right? So in front of stakeholder, you demonstrate it, and that ceremony is called as sprint review. Then you ship that product. So once you ship that product where all demonstration and go green has happened, then you, before going into the sprint planning meeting again for the next sprint, you make sure that the sprint retrospective ceremony is done. Sprint retrospective event happens. What happens in retrospective, everyone? What do you do?
I mean, to see both the good and the what went well and what didn't
Wrong
go
and what went correct.
during, yeah.
And
introspection, just like retrospection of
Yeah,
the
what went right and what went where we need to
improve
work
and
on improvement.
Rectify.
Yeah.
right. And what you will do out of as an output, what should be the output of this retrospective?
so we'll take the good
Looking back on the
forward
dealing
and we'll work on the negatives.
Okay. And how do you will work on those things?
We'll try to do it different way, not the same way that we failed.
When you will do that in this different way?
So again, so
sprint backlog.
The new
The next
sprint.
new sprint,
Next
new
sprint.
sprint planning.
Absolutely, you all are right. So you have understood. So yes, in the next sprint, all the learning you will take as an action item. So cool. So let's understand more about in the detail about sprints, various ceremony. I want someone to read about sprint planning, please, for me. The ceremony purpose, attendance, tips and tricks.
Sprint planning. Create a sprint backlog, identify the sprint goal that the entire Scrum team is committing to over the course of the sprint. Attendees, the entire Scrum team. Tips and tricks. Encourage the team to discuss and negotiate each item related to the sprint goal. Sketching can be helpful. Ensure the product backlog has been ordered and completed by the product owner before sprint planning. Once the sprint goal is set, it can be broken by the product owner, but should remain relevant throughout the course of the sprint.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. So we have just now talked about sprint planning. The purpose, you know, that you are going to create a goal of the sprint in the sprint planning meeting. So what exactly the entire team is going to achieve at the end of it. Entire team has to attend it. No one is exception over here, including Scrum Master will facilitate this entire ceremony. Okay, all the ceremonies will be facilitated by whom?
Scrum
Master. That's right. And the tips and tricks says that product owner has to make sure that goals are very much clear. And in the sprint planning meeting, he identifies the highly prioritized product backlog item. And further, he will make sure it gets broken down in terms of user story. So what happens if you will follow the process? Then first, the bigger requirement is communicated to the product owner, that what exactly customer wants. To that bigger requirement in one-liners, product owner breakdown. Okay, one-liners. So that becomes that is called as epic. What it is called as, everyone?
Epic.
That becomes the goal. And then further, those epics are broken down into user stories. Epics will be broken down into what?
User stories.
That's right. User story. And user stories will have the multiple tasks or subtasks or activities and will be assigned to every single individual to perform that. Yeah. So you understood requirement.
Yes.
Product backlog becomes epic. Epic will become user story. User story will become task, subtask, activities. And at the end, in theory, it is not just going to be a theory, but an action item. In project management tool, things will look like as a ticket. as a sticky note. Okay, I'll show you how does it look like. But when you will explore the tool which has been given, which has been asked to you to explore by your own self, you will see that whatever you will create, that becomes a normal reference point for you to get into depth of it. You will create a one-liner ticket. It will have the description column. It will have the attachment attachment area where you can attach, and you can assign those activity to some individual. With me so far?
Yes, sir.
So I will.
Sir, can you please repeat the last part?
Okay.
Like the AP goal broken down, that one.
Okay, so see, the requirement comes to product owner. Okay, he understand what larger piece has to be developed. What he does responsibly, he breaks down in one-liner goal. Okay, say for example, bank has come and says that we want to develop online banking. Okay, so so what do you want in online banking? He says that end-to-end thing. I want to earn new customer. I want customer open the account. I want customer to fund transfer. I want customer to ask for the loan. So now the high level he has spoken, right? So then he will create one ticket to Apex, like, okay, open account, fund transfer, then customer acquisition, and then loan approval process. Okay. Now, inside loan, there could be multiple loans: personal loan, mortgage loan, and then home loan, fresh loan, credit card loan, and whatnot. Okay. So these bigger goal, loan is a bigger goal, has been further needs to be broken down into smaller user story. Who will do that? Business analyst will do that. Okay. Again, we are talking about fund transfer. Now, fund transfer, there are multiple ways to transfer a fund. Okay, through IMPS, through RTGS, through SEH, through NACHA, through EFT or NEFT. So those further broken down by a business analyst in terms of user story. You are seeing the bigger requirement one-liners, and further it is broken down in form of user story. And there is a way to write the user story. We will be talking about that. But for now, are you clear how epic to user story you have come? Now, these user story will again be given to everyone. Like business analyst will also supply some additional technical or non-technical, more functionality about it. When he is talking about, say, for example, a personal loan, he will say how the request will appear, and then how reconciliation and verification will take place. So every single design has to be also placed into the user story. So one ticket emerge from the user story as a part of task or subtask. And the same user story will be same user stories task or subtask will be assigned to developer to code around it. With me? So again, other user story, same user story will be assigned to tester. Once the code will be done, you will be able to test the same user story. So again, for same user story, multiple activities are there inside for every individual person.
Okay, multiple tickets also we can say?
Yeah, multiple tickets. Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So in a project management system, at the end, the things are always called as a ticket or candidate or a guide. Clear? When we are talking about ticket, it means every single, the last broken down item is ticket. Okay?
Okay. So
Ticket, we are referring to a ticket. Means you support ticket, you might have heard. The moment you raise a bug, that is also called a ticket. So everything inside project management ticket, which has got its ID identification, it is called as ticket. Clear so far?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
In case something which you feel that you are not clear, ultimately I'm going to demonstrate and show you that, so that it brings more wow factor and more aha to you. Okay, ticket means that. Okay. So likewise. So wait for a few days. And just I want to say this well in advance. Good that you asked that whenever I demonstrate Jira or Azure DevOps, something like that, I don't record those moments. The moment I talk about Jira, the moment I talk about Azure DevOps, that portion never gets recorded. If you are live, you are going to see that. If you are live, you are going to attend that. If you are not live, you will not find it in the recording as well. So I am not responsible for that. You need to make sure you show up every single time. Thank you for asking, and
Yes, sir.
great that I spoke about it. So good.
Yes, sir.
So I hope everyone is clear. Let's move towards the daily Scrum meeting. I want someone to read about this daily stand-up called Daily Scrum as well. So who can read it? Purpose, attendees, tips and tricks. Anyone who has not read yet, please come forward. You can read it. Self-organized team, please come forward.
Daily Scrum Daily Stand-Up. Provide the Scrum team an opportunity to discuss progress, announce daily commitments, and identify impediments which should be cleared by the Scrum Master. Attendees, Scrum Master and production team, product owner, and outside stakeholders are optional. Tips and tricks. Be sure the team can see each other. If you're remote, use a video conferencing tool. Don't let this meeting turn into a verbal status report. Encourage team members to get together after the daily Scrum to discuss any items that require additional conversation. Do not let this meeting go longer than 15 minutes.
Okay, thank you so much for reading this out. So remember, this daily Scrum has its own flaw if you are not very much careful. First of all, this daily Scrum meeting or daily stand-up meeting will be organized always by Scrum Master. You come in one room, in one web conferencing or physical room, where you make sure it should not go beyond 15 minutes. So you can target up to 10 minutes that you will disperse in 10 minutes, but it should not go beyond 15 minutes. That you have to make sure. And here, when you are talking about the last date, next date, and bottleneck, it may eventually get into defensive mode. Say, for example, okay, I needed to work on this fund transfer, but the functionality is not very much clear because the ticket user story itself is not well developed or designed. Its analysis and design ticket is not clear. A business analyst has not worked upon it. So you don't have to say that business analyst has not worked upon it, but you have to say, I don't find much clarity into A and D ticket. So with much clarity, I'll be able to start working on it. So that is bottleneck for now for me. It may happen that business analyst may say, hey, but I have provided everything, where you have problem, and you go into problem solution mode. Okay, so that thing has to be avoided, and that you need to remember as a future Scrum Master. Okay, so this discussion should not be the part of daily stand-up meeting. You are just sharing your piece of bottleneck. Okay, later you will make sure that developer, coder, and business analyst meet together and resolve what has been the bottleneck called upon inside the meeting. And make sure only you talk about these next state, last state, and bottleneck. You don't get into the status report. Here, all the team members are important, but product owner can choose to not to be the part of it. Okay, so again, you should know that when you are calling for the stand-up meeting, you need not to just wait for product owner to for this meeting to get started. You can continue without product owner, or just make sure that if product owner is not coming, you are not pressurizing him that, hey, Scrum Master, I am Scrum Master and I'm running this show. You have to be the part of it. Okay, it's completely optional for the stakeholders and product owner. Is it clear, everyone? Daily stand-up meeting?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
and what we do inside.
Yes, sir.
I want someone to read sprint review meeting. Anyone?
Sprint review. Showcase the work completed over the course of the sprint. Gather feedback from stakeholders to inspect and adapt the product. Attendees. The entire Scrum team plus certain managers, stakeholders, customers, and other developers. Tips and tricks. Ensure that any outside stakeholders know where they need to be when get the room prepped. The production team should not feel like they are defending their work. Prep ensure they are able to shine. Capture actionable feedback as items in the backlog.
Yeah. So sprint review meeting is not boring review meeting. Okay. You have done work. Your team has done work, must be appreciated about it. Okay. So when you are talking about this, the entire team has to be present there in the conference room. Again, this meeting has been, has to be, facilitated by the Scrum Master. Make sure the entire team member is available there. None of them are exception about it. Okay. And here you know what you are going to discuss about, what all you took to develop a piece of requirement, what had been your learning, what came as an obstacle, how did you overcome that. Everything you are going to share in front of customer, because customer is noticing your work, customer is noticing your effort, because ultimately he needs to care that what is going inside in developing his services. So he should be well aware of that. More you talk about it, there are chances you are always appreciated. And at the end, you just don't go by just saying, okay, I have done this work. Go ahead, shake hand well with your customer, give each other high five, because ultimately you have won it. Ultimately, when customer has given a go green, it means that your hard work has been accepted and appreciated. So it's time to celebrate. Right? So sprint review should not be a boring demonstration. It should be a ceremony. It should be a celebration. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Is
So,
there any time duration for this sprint review meeting, sir?
yes, there is time duration. Just in fact, every such meeting, there is a time duration depending upon how long your sprint is. And we are going to talk about it for sprint review, for sprint retrospective and sprint planning meeting. What will be the time duration in the coming slide? Is it okay if I can take that in the coming slide instead of
Sure.
sharing right away? Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Sprint retrospective must be happening post sprint review. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. That we are going to look at. So any question around in sprint review? No? Okay. So as Ronak said about sprint retrospective, yes, that happens after it. And I want someone to read this sprint retrospective ceremony for me, please.
Sprint retrospective. Allow the team to inspect itself and plan for improvements in the next sprint. Scrum Master and the production team. The attendees, Scrum Master and the production team. Product owner is optional but recommended. Tips and tricks. Don't allow people to point fingers and play the blame games. Create a safe space for people to provide their honest feedback. Use games and different questions to mix things up and reduce monotony. Make sure any actionable solutions is captured, assigned, and tracked.
Yeah. Thank you so much for reading this out. Understand, behind this ceremony, the purpose is that you list down all the learning in actionable item. Why actionable item? Because you tend to include those actions into upcoming sprint. Okay. The one thing as a Scrum Master, future Scrum Master, you need to be very careful about that sprint retrospective meeting may end up blame game. Okay. So you need to be very much clear that you don't have to point finger to anyone. You have to just say what did not go well. You don't have to say that because this business analyst did not do his work on time, we had to suffer a lot. Okay, you don't have to say that because coder had to spend a lot of time in debugging her code itself, and that's the reason it did not come for testing in time, and that's the reason we had to stretch and give extra time for our testing. It's all about the coder. You don't have to blame that. What you can bring the learning out of it, so that you can definitely put into the table, as in next time if we know that how long it may take for debugging a piece of code or debugging a functionality, we can have some buffer time. Okay, can we think of buffer time, something like that? Okay, can we make sure that technology on which we are working, the developer is well aware of that? So this is kind of a first step. The second step will become, okay, training before development. So make sure the coders are well trained enough. They have been given well training. Okay. The advanced workshop is happening on whatever the platform they are going to develop. Okay. Say, for example, new system customer recommends as a ticket management system, and it is their customized software, and customer wants everyone to use that as a project management system. You will say that such project management system tool should be trained by customer himself. Okay, make sure the training has happened, everyone has learned the tool, how to use it. So such learning may come through insight. There are multiple ways to do the sprint retrospective where you can involve game, and there are various ways to do that. Make sure it is not going to very monotonous way. It is always highly interactive and fun filled, and at the end giving you insight and learning. Product owner can be optional in this meeting. Rest all team meeting has to be there. Is it clear to everyone about sprint retrospective meeting? Purpose, attendee, tips, and tricks. Yeah. Now, there is one more thing, which is generally not called, but to which we call it as this. Fifth is not mentioned everywhere. Done or sprint or cancel. Done goes in the sprint done chart to release the product increment from product backlog list. Means every requirement has to move at the end to the done ceremony. Done means you have completed that task. So there should be a definition for it. So we have some dedicated slides and dedicated learning around definition of done. We will be talking about it, but again, you can consider done itself as a ceremony as well. However, don't focus much on it. You need to be remembering the 4 ceremonies: sprint retrospective, review meeting, daily scrum, and sprint planning meeting. Is it clear to all of you? Any doubt around it? Okay.
No.
No.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let me quickly, there are 3 slides I will run you through, and then we will call it off. So this is sprint planning meeting, the first ceremony where inputs are product backlog that you decide. Then you talk about who all will be giving how much time. We are talking about velocity and capacity of teams available, that those becomes the input. Then in the sprint planning meeting, you decide based on requirement. Product backlog is the requirement. You will decide who will do, what will be done, and how it will be done, and who will be doing what. And the output of sprint planning meeting, the clear-cut sprint goal. Your definition of readiness is clear. Okay. At the end, what you are going to achieve, that everything will be discussed in the sprint planning meeting. Clear? We will be talking about velocity and capacity. I have my own 20 minutes of video talking around only velocity and capacity that I'll be sharing with you all. Okay. After this session, not today. One more time, we will be discussing about velocity and capacity. Then I can do that. And it depends. In case I feel like sharing it today, I will share that. Just be focused that I'm going to share that over there. So any question around this Scrum planning? We have further detailed slides and discussion about sprint planning. We will be talking about it. So in a nutshell, when we are talking about that, you can see everything is as a sticky note. Can you all see everything is a sticky note? Yeah.
Yes.
So ultimately it becomes the user story. And the moment you are implementing, it will be marked as a done, done, done. And it will look like this. Everything becomes ticket. Okay. And that's the reason we call it a ticket. We have explained this as a Scrum framework in a different manner. So, but you need to do multiple sprint, and multiple sprint is called as multiple iteration. What it is called as, everyone?
Multiple iteration.
Yeah.
Iteration.
Yeah. Iteration is word. How does it look like? It does look like that. Sprint 1, 2, 3, 4. Fixed length is there. Start date is clear. End date is clear. So why fixed length and time box sprint? This is also called as time box. What it is called as? The sprint is called as what?
Time box.
Time
box. Because time is fixed, and in that time you have to box it, complete it, and deliver it. So why time box? Because to balance between the need to release rapidly Faster delivery has to happen, allowing enough time to complete a useful amount of work in each sprint. And once everyone is given proper time, once an appropriate length is found, is typically stays same. It means what? It means once sprint duration is decided, it has to be the same during all the sprint. Is it clear? Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
sprint is nothing but it is a
Yes.
time box duration. Okay, as short as few days. I have already told that minimum 1 day, maximum 4 weeks. Can call a sprint goal a project in itself. So every sprint is a project in itself. Okay, clear? Any question around it? Just tell me. If not, yeah, go ahead.
Iteration and a sprint both are
Mhm.
same thing, right?
Yeah, you can say so, because sprint can be one, but when the moment we are talking about iteration, it means multiple. Means in one iteration, you can expect multiple sprint. Clear? Yeah. Yeah. So good. So I think we have touched the time, and we have enough of learning today. And I want you to go ahead and grasp everything, because I have gone in a very rapid manner today. But yet I made sure that with the example, I could share the information so that it become more digestible. You have good things to do. Come back, explore some tool, share it in the coming week. And yeah, don't forget to share the summary, whatever you have learned. I will totally appreciate that, because I want to see each one of you, what you are learning are gaining confidence into it. Because I know I don't want to take name of a person, a person who had enrolled, and she had a question that whether she can do it, because she is coming from a total non IT background, and it's a long gap in the study and career, and she was not so confident whether she can understand even be Agile Scrum and be ready to work around it. But she is so much confident today that every one of you can witness her work tomorrow. Okay, so that level of achievement, you too can have it. So this can be so easy, provided you gain expertise. Okay, and how you can do that? Just go ahead and bring the summaries. So this is what I wanted to say, and what I want you, all of you, to go back again in the WhatsApp group and talk about your top learning, and how did you feel about embracing about those learning, and means how do you want me to further to carry it. Means all about what do you feel like saying. I want you to go ahead and type in the WhatsApp group, and we'll look forward to talk to you very, very soon. Stay connected through your summary, assignment and all. And yeah, we'll meet again on Sunday. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye. Good night. We'll talk to you soon
Okay.
again.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.